Hey, what's up, guys? Ryan and Tiffany here.
We're back.
Round 3, third time's a charm. And,
oh my gosh.
I don't know, man. Freaking crazy.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Hopefully once...
Got to be a techno wizard, a tech wizard to be able to do this thing.
We're not technical. So, but it's the internet. Happy Monday, Drew.
What's up? So, it looks like we got Drew, Gloria,
I saw
Amy.
Katie on there. So I hope that everybody. Oh, it's holiday, right? Kind of.
President's Day.
Yeah.
It's a holiday to like 5 people, probably.
You said it was federal, though, right?
It's a federal holiday, but I had to Google like what President's Day was. Like, apparently it's Washington's birthday.
Okay, gotcha. And so the kids are off school this weekend, and the Florida State Fair is here.
Okay, hold on. Let's address something real quick.
Back up. What?
Amy says, Tiffany, that blue looks great on you. Tiffany is like, before the live stream, I look disgusting. I look so terrible. And I said, you don't look terrible. You look great, Tiffany. She's like, no, I don't. So just put in the comments real quick. Tiffany looks beautiful. She had a rough day today. Today was a bad day.
I'm super overtired, super overworked. Yeah. This morning I woke up and I was like, it is so hard and nobody understands except for other moms.
Yeah. Because
like you never get a day off. I'm always doing laundry. I'm always cleaning the house. I'm always doing dishes. I'm always picking up. And then, plus working, and it gets exhausting. And then, on Friday, we took the kids to was it Friday? Yeah, to the Florida State Fair. And then Sunday, we took the kids to the beach. And, like, it's hard to enjoy yourself when you're tired from working, and then that feels like work almost, too.
Well, it is work. It's like you're exhausted from being at the beach all day.
Yeah, and then like loading things up and unloading and cleaning after that.
And it's very tiring because you guys will see in the video, which we'll play next week. I got dressed in the morning, and when I get up, it's like dark or whatever. I go open up my drawer. I grab a shirt. I put it on. I put a sweatshirt on. And then we're at the beach, and I'm like, man, I take my sweatshirt off, and I'm like, I think I'm wearing one of your shirts, Steph. It's seeming a little bit tight.
We have the exact
my body.
One of the exact same sheepdog shirts, and he was wearing it, and I wear a size small, so it's like super tight on him.
Yeah.
And then you can totally.
I look like I was really into techno music or something.
Just him lifting up his phone. It's like a crop top, right? It pulls right up. You can see his gut. I'm like, Ryan, pull it down. Like, oh my gosh. So, yeah, it was bad. He had to, hide it, lay Paisley's shirt over.
Now, a lesser man would have gone to one of the many gift shops and bought an overpriced, shirt.
T-shirt.
But not me. I sucked it up the whole day and wore Tiffany's shirt like a man.
It was terrible. You did not. I don't like that look on you. I would not recommend that look. So then he says, I wore this shirt to show off my muscles. And Paisley's like, well, it's not doing that good of a job, Dad.
These little kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Okay, Ryan was thinking he was gaining weight. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like one of those cartoons where all of a sudden you get
155 pounds soaking wet.
No, I'm not. I'm like 170 right now.
Are you 170 now?
Yeah.
Oh, you're getting a little thicker.
A little bit thicker in the places that count. Toothpick muscles. Yes, Alan. Toothpick muscles.
Toothpick muscles.
Yeah. You know what? We got a story. I didn't put it up here, but I'm going to show it to you, Tiff. Maybe you guys will be able to see it. This is one of the funnier Florida man. This guy went to get his new driver's license. Okay.
So what do people got to Google if they want to watch it later?
And
why didn't you put it up?
People will be able to see it. Okay. Man went to get so he knew his driver's license was coming up. So he decided to grow his beard out like really big.
Okay.
Then the day of his driver's license, he decided to shave one half of his beard completely off. He cut his hair on only one side, and then he put makeup, a straight line of like foundation or whatever that makes you brown. So look at that, dudes. This is a real driver's license picture. Can you guys see that?
That's pretty funny.
I am shocked.
Like you're saying bronzer. That's what he did.
Bronzer, like to make you brown.
To try and make so that it looked more defined, the difference.
Dude, that is freaking hilarious.
What an idiot. Like, is that really?
I think that guy's a legend. I think he's a hero in Florida man's folklore.
Okay, so your driver's license, I cut Ryan's hair, and sometimes, this doesn't happen often now because he films a lot, but before when he wouldn't film all the time, I would, sometimes slack off a little, and he would just let it grow, and he would
just put a hat on,
He'd wear a hat. He wouldn't style his hair. Well, lo and behold, he had to go get his driver's license.
I don't know what I was thinking.
I don't know what you were thinking either.
I'm wearing a hat. I go there, and the lady's like, can you take your hat off?
It also looked like you hadn't showered in like a few weeks. Like, it was a bad...
I look like I sell meth behind a Wawa in Sefner.
So then he takes off his hat, and it's like all crinkled, half down, half up, super long. And then, this is like, 7 years ago, and then I reordered.
So again, I've been sucking this up for 7 years, and I'm like, okay, my license gonna be renewed in 2021. I'll get a nice fresh cut. And then Tiffany's like, oh, I auto-renewed your driver's license. And I'm like, damn it, Tiffany. Damn it.
Whoops.
I'm supposed to get a new picture.
So it looks terrible. It's embarrassing. And somebody, I don't know, the insurance or somebody asked me to upload it the other day, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so embarrassed.
Yeah, it's pretty rough.
Yeah, it was terrible.
All right, guys. So we're going to be answering your questions about all kinds of stuff. Looks like we already got one. Jason Walker. Ryan, what are your thoughts on the Daniel Defense PDW?
You're a fan of Daniel Defense.
I love Daniel Defense. I don't think there's anything they've ever done that I have not been a super big fan of.
I got to move to coffee or to water because
Defense PDW.
Realized I didn't eat today and I got like super lightheaded.
I didn't eat till like this afternoon. Yeah, so I actually own an SBR very similar to this, Jason. It's actually sitting right behind me.
Didn't I make you a ham and cheese omelet this morning, and then I made you lasagna?
Oh, you're right, you did.
So what do you?
It must not have rocked my world, which is why I didn't remember it.
You ate a lot. Excuse me.
Okay, yeah, I like it. I have one. I have the Troy PDW stock on it. It's not very fun to shoot because that small stock is like really thick. It's metal, right? And it's just not enjoyable to shoot.
It's not comfortable.
Yeah. So I like the way that it looks. I don't actually enjoy shooting it. Mm-hmm. But this is a gun that I call the ISIS Eliminator. I'm just waiting for some jihadist to invade Valrico.
This is so Ryan built this gun when ISIS was doing the like Twitter thing where they were cutting people's heads off and they were saying like,
but they were also like coming here to America and doing drive-bys and hurting people, right?
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. Like, so then that's where Ryan started carrying.
I said to our gun store like customers, I said, would you guys want me to build an AR-15, the ISIS Eliminator? Yeah. And I was like, it's going to be $1,500 and it's going to be amazing. And like a bunch of people bought it. I built a ton of them. And then I kept one.
Yeah, and they were like, short barrel, folding stock. So it was like this big, and then you just keep it in your, backpack in the car. So Ryan always had one on him because at that time we didn't know what they were gonna do because they were doing tons of threats on.
Dude, it was crazy, man.
On Twitter and stuff. Yeah. I kind of forgot about that.
But then
how many threats they were putting out there, saying like they were gonna get us.
But Donald Trump got banned from Twitter. Everybody remember this because
yeah, true. But these guys are cutting people's heads off. How crazy!
Yeah. And what scared me with it is I remember they lost, like they were able to infiltrate 600,000 military veterans' identities or whatever. Yeah, so that was crazy.
Yeah, super crazy. Tiff needs wine. I do.
Okay, so Alan says, this is a crazy question.
Okay.
How hard is it for someone in witness protection to get a concealed carry permit?
Whoa, really? Wow.
Okay, asking for a friend who has a Dominican cartel after him.
Ooh.
Alan, I don't know, dude. Like, I mean, if you've got name change documents, crazy stuff, I think it's going to be hard. We had a lady, it's probably been a little over a year, but she came to the concealed carry class with bodyguards.
That's right.
Do you remember this?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They came in and I was like, I said, so why do you want to carry it? He's like, oh, I've been carrying for 20 years. And I was like, okay, why are you here? And he's like, I'm working. And I was like, okay. You're also a big talker, apparently. And then I asked the other guy, why are you here? And he's like, oh, I'm working. And I was like, what is happening? Right?
Yeah.
And then she said, I have a threat against my life. Yeah. I hired this private security detail.
She had to do a ton of
and
stuff.
they're, following me around, securing my house and stuff. And I was like, oh my God, this is freaking crazy.
Yeah. That's scary to have a drug cartel after you.
Yeah, drug cartel. I mean, what are you going to do, right?
Yeah.
Just load up an AK and
Yeah.
Hope for the best.
I don't know.
I don't know.
We've
Yeah.
never had someone. We've never had someone with that question. Don't know how it works, so can't tell you. But I would say if you can purchase a firearm.
Okay, Bill Emmerich, you got my attention, dude.
Ooh.
He said a SIG P365 in 380 ACP. They should have come out with that a long time ago. All right.
So micro. So is that small like the LCP?
No, it's the same size as a normal P365.
Oh, but it's just in 380.
But it's in 380. Amazing. I think that'd be
Really?
awesome. Yeah. So we had
How much less recoil though is a 380 from a 9mm? Really? Because it's just
especially for new shooters.
a little bit less powder. Is it that much of a difference?
Oh yeah, it's significant. Yeah.
I need to go shoot like
when you have like a comparable size gun. So one of the women that I did the beginner's guide to
Don't
firearms.
we have the Easy Shield in 9mm and 380?
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna shoot both just so that I know this.
Are you ready for my story now?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
I guess so.
So one of the ladies that I went shooting with today, she shot the SIG P365. It was too much for her, but she's got tiny hands, so it was just hard for her to hold on to and control. Today I had her shoot the Smith & Wesson 380 Shield EZ, and she shot it like a rock star. So this gun, but the 380 EZ is a little bit too big. The grip's too big for her tiny hands. So that gun, I'm gonna have to buy it by the way, is gonna be like a great in-between for a lot of women.
Marcel wants to know what club I'm going to after the show.
Yeah, you look like you're going to a club. No, yeah, you're not getting laid then.
No,
No, that's not happening.
that's okay because I was actually gonna go to Ross and get some stuff for our trip. By the way.
Okay, so next week, big shocking
news.
announcement. We are going to Mexico next week. Now, you might never see me again.
Or me.
So we're going there for an event to meet with some people and talk about some
It's like
stuff.
a business thing. Yeah.
It's a marketing event. So we're going there. I don't know why they would pick Mexico. It really bothers me. So the resort that we're staying at, it's very nice, five-star resort.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody just got murdered there.
But
two cartel members are like at this resort vacationing apparently, and I guess they like sell drugs to tourists and stuff.
Right.
So they're sitting on the beach, and two other drug cartel members come up on jet skis and machine guns.
That happened in November.
Right, in November.
Okay, yeah.
They open fire, kill these two drug dealers sitting on the beach, and then they drive away on their jet skis. Like, I gotta tell you guys, if that happens while I'm there, while everybody else is running, I'm gonna be like, how do I get the stream going?
Yeah.
Pretty crazy. And then just the other day.
So 2 weeks ago, there's a post and it says these two Canadians are killed inside the resort, okay, right outside the dining area by another guest who they saw on cameras hanging out by the pool, doing, these other things.
But they got into an argument, and this other guy just pulled out a gun and shot him and then left.
Shot him point blank. So then...
So I cannot bring a weapon to Mexico. I'm not even. Tiffany was like, "Oh, I'm just gonna bring a."
I'm putting our pocket knives, right? We got lots of cool pocket knives. I'm putting them in our luggage because we need to at least carry a pocket knife. Like, oh my gosh. Then Ryan goes, "I don't think you're allowed to have a pocket knife." I says, "You're kidding me!" Like as if you're not allowed to have a pocket knife. So I go on Google, and sure as shit, you can't have a pocket knife. You will go to jail for 5 years over a pocket knife.
Yeah. So one of the videos that we're going to film, we're not allowed to bring anything with us. The only item that I'm allowed to have is a tactical pen, and I'm bringing my Surefire tactical pen, which I paid like $150 for, and that's the only like quote-unquote defensive item that we can have. So what's fascinating, one of the videos that I'm going to film while we're in Mexico is about the Mexican Second Amendment, the Mexican right to keep and bear arms. Did you guys know that the country of Mexico has a guaranteed right for all of the citizens to own and possess firearms? I bet most people didn't know that.
Hey, you got to wait to do your video. Don't give it away now.
So we're going to share with you what their law is and what they're doing to curb gun violence or to prevent citizens from owning guns, even though it is a constitutional right. It's truly fascinating.
So I'm worried because, they do a COVID test before you can get to leave the country. And I'm worried like one of us is going to test. Well, mainly that like all test positive. I said to Ryan, you have to just come back. You got to just leave me.
No, we're going to hire a coyote to
for
freaking
10 days and he won't leave me.
No, I'd be a fool if I left you in Mexico. It's not like I'm leaving you in San Francisco or San Diego. It's Mexico. Last time I was in Mexico, I got robbed.
We can't leave our children here for like that long.
I don't know, Tiffany. Maybe we start a new family in Mexico where things are cheaper. Okay?
Gosh. Anyway, yes, I like our country too.
So Bill Emmerich says, be honest, you're going because you can't find a decent chili relleno.
Oh, you know what? I'm really hoping. So I've never been to Mexico, neither I've never been at all, but you've been to Mexico when you were a kid because you guys
Not a
used
kid,
to
a teenager.
drive across and go to Mexican restaurants, but you've never been to like a resort.
No, we didn't make it because
so
we got
we've never
robbed.
been down-
We got robbed on our way to the resort.
They did. So just tell that story really quick because I don't think
We were driving down through Tijuana to go to Rosarita Beach and go deep sea fishing. My dad chartered like this big boat and we were going deep sea fishing.
Is this when you lived in California? Or
This was 2 days before I was going into basic training. So we lived in Las Vegas.
Okay, so you're like 17.
17, yeah. So we're down there. There's like this beautiful Mexican restaurant. I guess there they just call it a restaurant. It's like right on this big cliff overlooking the ocean. Like it was beautiful, right? So we park, we go in, like we're eating. It's like amazing food, but it was taking forever to get our check. So finally they bring us a check. My dad gives them the credit card, taking forever for them to bring the damn credit card back.
Right.
So finally they give us a card. We walk outside. Our car is stripped. Everything taken off, radio, luggage, everything. So the car still ran, but we just had to drive it back across the Tijuana border. We said, fuck it, screw this, man. Yeah. Drive it back the border. I don't know what we did. We hung out in California for a bit and then just went back to, like, what were we thinking? Why the hell are we going to Mexico, man?
So what I'm wondering is, because I asked Ryan this, so anybody who's been to Mexico, who's been to the, resorts, do they serve like authentic Mexican food in the resorts? Like, am I going to be able to get a chili relleno? Because I'm worried it's going to be like Americanized and, to kind of cater to people. So let me know because I really would like a great chili relleno.
Yeah.
Let me know.
So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe I can strike up a deal with one of these cartel members and provide like some training to their members or not. I don't know.
Okay, Alan says that Tijuana is the genital wart of Mexico.
Frankly, it's very sad. It's sad for me that, America is such a great country. We have so many like positive opportunities and stuff like that. And then we have a country right next to us, Cuba. I feel the same way about Cuba.
Yeah.
But Cuba could be an amazing resort destination. Americans, we would go there, spend thousands of dollars every year, and it would just make them, they would prosper, we would prosper from it. It would be amazing, right?
It's beautiful.
It's beautiful. But because you have terrible leadership, corruption, and the drug cartels ruling everything, you just can't even be there. What?
No, it's like cruise ship food at the resorts, upscale cafeteria food.
Oh, really? Okay.
That's what I was worried about. But then someone says, go to the food trucks. Ryan's not leaving the resort.
Yeah, I'm not leaving the resort. That's like the people that are organizing this. They're like, yeah, you can get on this bus and go drive. And I'm like,
no, you can get on like the buses to go to these things,
And then they send us
8 hours though. And I'm thinking 8 hours in Mexico? Like how far are we going into? So then I go on the government's website, right? I'm like, travel to Mexico. I want to know like everything. And almost everywhere, Google this when you get off, okay? Almost everywhere it says reconsider travel. Kidnapping, high rates of kidnapping and like cartel or something. I'm like, whoo, I'm scrolling down the page and I promise you can scroll for like 3-4 minutes. Reconsider travel. Reconsider travel. Reconsider travel. And I'm like, on the government's
website. Is this on the State Department's website? The American State Department.
Yes.
Okay.
But it's like
awesome,
high level, like urgent or what, like.
So the person organizing this trip for everybody, he sends us an email and he's like,
don't wander
Tiffany,
off. She says.
He sends us an email and says, hey, I know a few people are kind of concerned about what's going on in Cancun, but just so you know, the government's bringing 1,500 National Guard troops, so we should be okay. If you have to bring in 1,500 National Guard troops just to like barely secure stuff, it's probably not okay.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, so crazy.
Yeah. So I don't know what's gonna happen. We'll see.
So with that said, we're gonna next Monday. I had to squeeze in extra concealed carry classes for Ryan. So next Monday, if we do a live, we haven't kind of decided, but if we do a live, it'll be later in the evening. It'll probably be like 8:30.
Right around 8, yeah.
Yeah. So you just know, don't be waiting for us at 7. Will in Qatar, don't be waking up at 2 a.m.
Yeah. So EJM, you need to understand. He said, "So we will not be seeing you again?" ?
Well, yeah.
Everybody that has a signed autograph from me and Tiffany, you're about to get rich. You're about to get rich.
Why do you think? Because we're dead, it's all of a sudden
it's always like, yeah. What was that one? Yeah.
Well, you're talking about like famous people, though.
Yeah, like there was one really famous painter. Never made any money until he died.
Oh, really?
Yeah, never once. He was totally in poverty, but now he's
same
like
as us.
super well.
Never made any money either.
Okay. So, is it true you don't want to go off property unless you're on an excursion with others from the resort? Yeah, I'm not going.
Okay.
Okay, Amy says it's pretty scary now. A woman was just kidnapped when she and her husband left the resort. Yep.
Oh.
I've stayed in Playa del Carmen, Cancun, and went on a cruise.
Playa. Yeah, I think that's where we're going, like along that.
I don't think I'll go again.
That's the, like, not a cruise, but that's like the canal that we're going to is this Playa del Carmen or whatever. So it's right down there.
Yeah, trust me. Let me tell you. The person whose event this is, I am going to very boldly say, this is stupid. Mm-hmm. So we should not be doing this in a third world freaking country.
I mean, lots of people are saying that they travel there regularly.
Let's do it in Florida. Florida's amazing. Let's go to Miami. Yeah. Let's like do something in a normal country.
In a normal country.
Yeah. Where I'm not going to have the craps because I drank your tap water. Do you know that? Like when we would get deployed to places like this, they would say only brush your teeth with bottled water. Oh. Never put like this, like Will. Will cannot use water out of his sink to brush his teeth. You're going to have the squirts.
Okay. Playa del Carmen is awesome. Todd, I think his name is. What's up said. So it'll be beautiful. It'll be nice. We're staying there. We'll be safe. We'll have a lot of fun. I'm hoping that Ryan, I told him, I'm hoping he's going to be a little romantic.
I'll get you pregnant if that's what you're asking for.
Oh, my gosh.
Besides that, it ain't happening.
You can't get anybody pregnant.
I can try.
Thank you, Joe. He
Thank
says,
you, Joe.
have a chili Rihanna on me. I'm sure hoping that they have them on there and it's not just like touristy food because I'm waiting for some good Mexican food.
Okay.
All right, you better do a question.
Ready for this next one?
To the rescue as a young boy was being mauled by...
What are you doing? Okay. What's the matter with you?
Lots of stuff. Okay, first question is from Chris. He says, I am 20. Can I take my concealed carry class now and apply when I am 21? Yes, Chris.
That's a good question.
You are. We have a lot of people that take our concealed carry class when they're 20, and then they simply apply once they turn 21. Easy peasy lemon squeezy.
I hope you guys like Adobe, and I'm not talking about isn't it adobo? That spice? Adobo?
I don't know. What is the guy talking about?
I'm not talking about Photoshop. I'm guessing it's a spice. I don't know. Alan, is that a spice? So Will said bottled water.
No, Shane, my plan, if you guys have ever seen that movie War Dogs, when he's walking through the airport and there's all those people in the way and he goes, excuse me, get out of the way, get out of the way. It's okay, I'm an American.
Yeah, see, Arthur, normally it takes one time to get pregnant, but Ryan had a vasectomy, so it ain't happening.
I can try.
God. You can try. You can practice. Yeah. So they provide bottled water in the room, but then somebody also said, David says, don't do the ice. So don't they put ice in the drinks when they give them to you? You have to tell them no ice.
Probably.
Oh, this is a lot of stuff to remember.
Or
else he says he says that.
Jason says, Ryan, can you release your AR Builders book before you get kidnapped?
That's pretty
We
funny.
actually had an epic disaster with this book.
Why?
Disaster.
What was wasn't a disaster.
It wasn't necessarily. It's a disaster. Okay, I'm trying to dramatize this, Tiffany. Help me here.
Okay, well.
Okay. So I made the book. I made all the pictures. Tiffany was like 3/4 or 80% of the way editing it. It was almost done.
No, it was like 99.9% done.
And then I don't know what we were doing, but we had an idea and we're like, do you realize that if we do this idea, we have to redo like a ton of images? And she's like, yes, but it'd be better for the people.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, fine, we'll do it. So,
because the book, right? The AR-15 Secrets book that comes with the course is like 200 pages. And it's like all these detailed pictures.
Like very detailed.
Hundreds of pictures. So
anyway, we're working on it. And Thursday is when I can finish taking the pictures and then we can edit it. But it probably won't be done before Cancun, right?
No.
No, okay.
No, because I got to go shopping.
Okay, all right.
Just saying. Okay,
so Tom says, Ryan, if you see a hole in a random bathroom wall, you know what to do.
What? This is a joke, right?
You don't know what he's talking about? Okay, never mind. I'll explain it later. We can't talk about it on here.
People going to be peeping on you?
You know what
What?
Yeah, it's awesome, right? It's a gamble for both sides.
This does not happen.
It does happen.
People know this. Try it out. Glory hole. You only live once.
Okay, so apparently there's like a donkey show in Tijuana. I've heard about it ever since I was a little kid. A donkey and a young woman.
Oh, you're kidding me.
I promise.
You know, I don't know why. I don't know if you guys watch or look at the Daily Wire, you know, Ben Shapiro's thing. Yeah. And there was a post with Hugh Hefner. And I don't know why I clicked on it because it had some kind of good clickbait. Blech. It talked about like how he was like into bestiality.
Hugh Hefner was?
And they caught him with the German Shepherd.
Really?
And then one of the ladies she was his like playmate like in the 60s or early 70s. And she said that he got her to do oral on the German Shepherd.
Is this real or is this like all nonsense?
There's a whole bunch of claims that this is true.
I don't know, man.
That's disgusting.
Hey, listen. Oh, whatever. No, we're not going to talk about it.
I don't know. But anyway, that guy was gross anyway. His face is killing me. Yeah, I don't know.
All right.
This stuff is just nasty.
It's
so
gross.
Go.
All right, so here's a crazy story that we're going to watch this video, and then we'll be back.
To the rescue as a young boy was being mauled by 2 dogs.
Yeah, the terrifying moments caught on camera. The man shot and killed one of the animals to stop the vicious attack.
This is the intersection where a young boy was almost mauled to death by a dog until a good Samaritan with a legal gun who was licensed to carry it stepped in.
That's the guy who shot the dog that you keep telling people.
Standing around.
I'm right here. You really strong.
A man who saved this young autistic boy's life this morning was able to meet him as the young victim was brought home from the hospital after receiving multiple stitches to his face and legs. 2 dogs were running loose, and Kaysen and his mom were on the way to his school. Patrick has a license to carry, and with his legally owned gun, he stepped in.
So I immediately took action, hopped out, and assessed the situation, told everybody to move, and discharged my firearm. It was a lot of people out there. They was beating the dogs. They was shooting with a paintball gun, trying to do anything to get the dogs off the child, but there was nothing nobody could do.
A 22-year-old woman was hit in the face by shrapnel, or a small fragment of the bullet that ricocheted, but is okay. Tonight, police say they are working to identify the dog's owners who could face charges.
Crazy, right?
Kate, like, why though when it shows the one shot, like, is it still playing?
There's a delay, Tiffany.
Oh, there's a delay. Why when it shows the one shot, like the person's over here, the baby's on the ground with the Rottweilers, and then there's 2 men standing over here? Like, why is everybody not in there? Like,
because I don't know if you heard about this, Tiffany, but there's actually like a massive nationwide shortage of tampons. Do you know this?
Shut up. I gave you this joke the other day.
Because of all the new pussies that have been created in our society. Because people don't want to get involved. Like, for me, even if I didn't have a gun, I would be on that Rottweiler, man. I would choke it out.
You gotta just jump in. It's a baby. Oh.
Yeah, so that's like a 4-year-old kid, which is Bites look pretty bad on its face, but when I was a kid, I grew up with this girl that got attacked by like a Rottweiler or a pit bull or whatever, and she had a scar going from like here to here, like it was gnarly. So that kid, it didn't seem as bad as my friend when I was a kid.
Well, yeah, it could have been worse, but I mean, I'm just saying, like, when you see something like that happening, you gotta jump in there, because if everybody just gets in, you know, and just starts pulling,
at least you can overwhelm.
dogs.
But I gotta tell you, when I was a kid, we lived in Oregon. Somebody had like a half wolf, half husky that they bred, and it came down from the mountain. I don't know where the hell these people lived. Came down and started attacking our Labrador. What was his name? His name was Jet. And we were like, this is my first like real gun incident that I was involved in. So my dad was like punching this dog, beating it. I was kicking it.
And it wasn't doing nothing,
This dog did not care. It was huge, man. Then my dad had this like pipe, and he was cracking this dog with this pipe. Dog would not get off. And my dad looked at me and he said, go get my 308 locked and loaded.
Wow.
And I was probably like 12, so a little older, Paisley's age. Ran in the house, grabbed the 308. Yeah, I don't know why. And I freaking chambered around, and I ran outside, and then now the dog actually got off, and now this wolf is running up the mountain.
Okay.
And we didn't have to shoot it, but anyway, it was pretty crazy. So is that a justified shooting situation in your opinion? Would you shoot that dog?
Well, this is hard. This is a hard shot though with a baby.
You know what? It's interesting if you guys watch the footage of when he took that shot.
Maybe if you were to like walk up to the dog and stick it in its right. Like I would stick it right here, right in front of or behind his left, or right behind his front arm, so that it would go in the heart. But I guess that would be the only way to do it. Would be to get in there, shove it right in, and then pull the trigger.
Yeah, I think the way the shooter did it is foolish in my opinion. Because if you look at the angles, I can't pause this video the way that we do it. Look, just real quick.
I didn't even know someone shot.
So look, the shooter is right here. See the gun? Boom, boom, boom.
Well, he's backing up.
He's already 3 to 5 yards away. You're shooting at a downward trajectory.
Yeah.
And the baby is then on the ground, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's dangerous. My only way to do it, I would go for the spine probably, but I would go up and crank that dog right in the spine and then kill it once it's freaking out.
Yeah, I'm just thinking of hunting. You know, you go right behind that front, what's it called? Like front leg, I guess, up here, shoulder.
Right in the chest.
Yeah, right in the chest so that you get the heart. So that's what I would think, but you'd have to like make contact or get really close to make sure that you're not going to hit anybody else.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and a girl actually got hit with a fragment.
See?
So took a fragmented round, so probably the brass, right? Hit her in the cheek. So what's interesting is that girl is probably going to sue the shooter for damages and probably going to win $100 million or something.
I don't know. What is the best way? So who's on here that knows the answer to this question? If you don't have a firearm and you see a dog attacking, what is the best way to stop that dog from attacking? Like, is that like in the punching in the nose? Is that the like what? I don't know this.
Choke it out. Yeah, because you got to think just like a human.
How would you choke an animal? I don't know if I could.
You get on top. I could do it. You get on top of it and you just put that sucker in a headlock, man, and you basically just got to hold it. You're in for a wild ride. You got to hold it for 30 seconds because it's going to cut off the blood flow to the carotid arteries, and then it's just going to pass out, right?
Oh, yep. Somebody else says choke it out.
Yep.
Okay. I'm just wondering because that's something that you can definitely see. I mean, you've seen it in the news lots. That lady, I don't know if you saw this or not, but down south in Miami, a 71-year-old lady just got mauled to death by a pit bull.
Oh, really?
It was a mom or a female dog, and they had it took them forever to get her into the rescue center. They would throw her chunks of chicken every day, and then finally they got her into the rescue center, and they were working with her. But they said, we don't know what happened to her. She's very skittish. But the 71-year-old ex-teacher, she just loved dogs, and she wanted to work with this dog, and it attacked her and killed her. Yeah. And that just happened a couple days ago, and I was wondering what do you do if you see that happening and you don't have a gun?
You stab it. That's why you also got to have a knife, and you got to have pepper spray, right? You mace it, you start stabbing it, and then you see what happens next.
Yeah, never had issues owning rots. Yeah, I you know what? It's I think a lot of it too is just depends on what they've gone through. Like,
yeah, if you abuse a dog, obviously they're going to be more prone to stuff like that.
Yeah, but there's lots of stories of people that they're like, oh, I had it since it was a baby. And
See,
was
we
fine.
owned a pit bull. He was a pit and a lab mixed.
Yeah.
His name was Remy, and Remy was like super chill, man.
Yeah.
But there was a couple times in his life where he would be fighting with our other dogs.
Yeah.
Where something like changed in him, and he was on top of those dogs, and it was like the most aggression I've ever seen in an animal.
Yeah, but he was super sweet. The kids
All
would
the other
sit on
times,
him.
yeah.
But do you remember, though, that time that you were playing tug of war with him? And
I noticed his teeth were bleeding.
And his teeth were bleeding because he would not let go. Like,
Yeah.
he grabbed on and he would just not let go.
It was just locked. And then I noticed as I'm playing with him, I'm like, oh my God, dude, is that blood?
Yeah.
His whole mouth was full of blood. And I was like, dude, we got to stop, man.
Yeah,
Like,
and then we I researched a little and they said you shouldn't play tug of war with your dog. So we stopped. But
Yeah.
anyway, super crazy. All right, go ahead. Next one.
okay. I've seen dogs immune to pepper spraying cattle prods. Yep, that makes
Oh,
sense.
yeah,
Where
I
was the
know.
bear spray? True. Before I had a concealed carry, I carried 20% hydrogen peroxide. Okay, that's
Wow.
a little bit strange. And had a dog chasing me, and I stopped and turned around and sprayed it in their eyes. Okay, I guess it worked.
Yeah, you got to sacrifice your hand. So Ryan's dad stopped the.
Yeah, you want to hear the story? I got to
Okay,
tell it.
okay,
Okay.
okay.
So when we lived in Oregon, we used to drive out
You've
to Lake
told everybody
Mead.
you lived in Oregon.
No. When we lived in Las Vegas, we would drive out to Lake Mead, which is like right by the Hoover Dam, Massive Lake, right? We had 3 big dogs, German Shepherd, a Chow, and Jet, this German Shepherd. So they're all like running around and they kind of got the pack mentality happening, right? Some other dog just like ran up and tried to start some shit. But my dogs, like when we lived on the farm in Oregon,
Yeah, you got to pack.
they would get in such violent fights with each other that they'd be like ripping skin. We'd have to give them stitches and stuff. Like they were violent dogs growing up on a farm. My German Shepherd came back one time with a deer leg in his mouth. And we were like, how the hell did you pull that off? But he got a deer leg somehow. So anyway, they're all fighting. My dad's trying to like save this other dog's life.
Right.
And he's trying to pull him apart. And then all of a sudden, my dad goes, where's my finger? Somebody find my finger. And I'm like, what? And he goes, my finger's gone and it's like missing. And I'm like, oh my God. So we're all like searching, looking.
Wait, how old were you?
I was probably like
So like
14,
Paisley's age. Okay,
14
gotcha.
or so. So then we find it, right? So my dad's in shock. My dad is driving. I don't remember why my dad's driving. My mom's in the passenger seat. Dad's driving. His hand's all jacked up. I'm holding the finger in the back seat. And as we're driving, my dad goes, Ryan, quick, put it in your mouth so you can keep it cold. And I was like,
Your mouth is warmer than your body and it's filled with bacteria.
I was like, that's not happening. Okay. And then this is like how funny my dad was sometimes. There were 2 cops on the side of the road. My dad pulled up and he rolled the window down and the cops were like, can I help you? And he's like, you see my finger? And it's freaking bleeding, right? Like you just literally got your finger bit off. And then the guy, he's like, do you know where? My dad said, where's the hospital? And they said, go down this road, turn right or whatever. And then we drive to the hospital.
So the cops didn't give you like a.
I actually don't remember. I'm pretty sure that was the only encounter.
Okay.
And then we just drove.
Okay.
So we drive to the hospital. My dad walks in and he's like, I just got my finger bit off. And the nurse is like, okay, do you have the finger? And I was like, I have it. And she's like, where is it? And I said, it's in my hand. And I just opened my hand and there's a freaking finger. And she was like, oh, geez. And they came and took it with tweezers and stuff. Maybe that's where all like my psychological problems come from is my dad was beaten with a baseball bat and shot a couple years after this. The freaking finger incident.
Yeah, we didn't tell people that story. We'll have to save that for another night
Yeah.
because it's almost.
Oh my
yeah.
gosh. Yeah, so they
You do have a lot of problems.
I do. They sewed my dad's finger back on and then
does
like
it work? Does it work fine and everything?
no, it died.
Oh.
It never connected, yeah.
So he doesn't have a finger?
No.
I never even noticed that.
Yeah, so it like is like right here. So it's that knuckle.
Oh, so they sewed it on and it died.
They sewed it
I'll tell
on-
you why? Because you didn't put it on ice.
Because I didn't put it in my mouth. And that's yeah.
That's gross. Okay, my friend asked me today if his wife can have guns in the house because he is a felon and wants to carry. Is that constructive possession? So go ahead. We answered this one last week. But
yeah.
Go ahead.
So your friend's wife wants to carry a gun, but the husband has a felony. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So she is allowed to have a gun because she doesn't lose her constitutional right to keep and bear arms just because her husband is a convicted felon. However, if she's going to own a gun, the firearm has to always be in her possession. So the gun has to be in a gun safe. Only she has access to. Nobody else can get to it. Stuff like that.
Yeah, and I mean, she can carry the gun on her, though. Yep. She can have it on her body, but she's responsible to make sure that he does not have access to firearms or hit the firearm or ammunition. So it's her responsibility to put it in a safe or have it on her. She can't just leave it, in the car and, or whatever, open with him having accessibility to it. So,
right.
Yeah, but you can still have it.
Yep.
We get that question a lot.
Yeah, we do get that question a lot. Okay, question number 2.
No, this question, if Bill's on here, Bill Emmerich, he loves this question.
Okay, what is the law for a medical marijuana card and a concealed weapons permit? Are you able to obtain both at the same time? I currently have a medical marijuana card, but would like to get my concealed carry permit.
Yeah.
I've only talked about this about 50,000 times, but the answer is you can have both, but you can't legally own or touch a gun. Go to YouTube, type in Tampa carry marijuana. You'll see a big, long video that explains it all in detail.
Yeah, but give them a little bit of a rundown.
Do I have to?
Yes, you do.
I feel like I've done enough.
Because they submitted, no, listen.
Okay.
They submitted a question, so they're going to watch tonight to know the answer.
Okay, all right. You're allowed to have a medical marijuana card and a concealed carry permit. Primarily because the state of Florida is not allowed to ask you if you have a medical marijuana card because it's protected under HIPAA law. But for some reason, whether I have a COVID vaccination or not is not protected by HIPAA. But that's a different topic for a different day. So you're allowed to have both. However, under federal and state law, you are no longer allowed to own, possess, touch firearms or ammunition anywhere in the United States. So you become, because marijuana is a Schedule I drug, you become a prohibited person, somebody who is not allowed to own or possess guns, just like a convicted felon. And the only way to reverse that is for you to no longer be an unlawful user of marijuana. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, I'm not unlawful. I have a medical marijuana card. It's legal by the state.
Someone just said, I thought that medical marijuana was no longer a Scheduled I narcotic.
Okay, maybe it's not. But it still is, to the best of my knowledge.
Well, federally. So
as long as it's Federal One or a Schedule I narcotic, let me Google this real quick. Maybe Nancy Pelosi stopped her insider trading and actually passed some laws.
No. So what it is, I'll keep talking while you look, but it's because it is, even though it's legal in Florida, federally it's still illegal. And so Shane says Class 1. Yeah. Still federally illegal. Yeah. So that's what makes it, still remains a Schedule I controlled subject.
Yeah, so this is right on the DEA's website. So DEA says, consistent through with, the FDA and DEA have concluded that marijuana has no federally approved medical use for treatment in the U.S., and thus it remains a Schedule I controlled substance under federal law.
Yeah.
So, again, that sounds like just some BS that people were pushing around.
Yeah.
Fake news.
Stupid.
Yeah. So now I also think that it's dumb. I think marijuana is a...
I know. What's funny is, like, a lot of people are like, they get mad at me when I tell them that. I'm like, listen, I don't make the rules. I just deliver them. So I don't make the rules.
Yeah, I don't smoke cigarettes, but I think if you want to smoke cigarettes, smoke them. I don't give a shit. I don't care what you do.
Yeah.
If you want to smoke marijuana, go for it. Tiffany and I will outwork you every day of the week. So, I mean, that's
except for the first, 2 times you do it. Because the first, 2 times you do it, you're like, you get all these ideas. But then all of a sudden, it just seems to turn to more of a...
Yeah. So it just makes you lazy. It makes you unproductive. It's not something I want in my life. But should they legalize it? We shouldn't be wasting as much money as we are on such a dumb drug.
Yep.
I think we have bigger problems going on right now in our society that we need to focus on than trying to arrest... Like, that story, Trump pardoned that one woman. She had a $5 crack rock, and she got 35 years in prison. Okay, I think that is very stupid. Okay, very stupid. We need to be focusing our time and resources on these big drug dealers, not on Joe Blow who had $5 worth of marijuana or $5 worth of crack. I just think it's a waste of time.
Yeah, I don't know. Tom says if you're lazy, you'll be lazy on weed too. If you're productive, you'll be productive with weed too. I don't know. I smoked weed for 15 years.
No, so JC9 says, Ryan, open up a pot shop. I wanted to. When they first passed medical marijuana here in Florida, I said, Tiff.
No, I said, we're not doing guns and pot.
Because what I told her is I said I'd finally be able to reach my fantasy that I've always had, right? Like everybody wants to be that cool gangster dude, right? That's what I want.
Oh
so
my
finally, I'd be selling drugs. I was selling guns. And then all I needed to do would open up my cat boarding facility called Pussy Palace, and I'd have the trifecta.
Guns, weed, and the P word.
It'd be awesome.
This is me. I'm like, no, we're not doing it. We're not doing guns and weed. Like, those are not the two businesses. I hate it. Kids, teachers are like, oh, and what do you do for a living? I'm like, you know.
You know what the boys told me the other day? They're like, hey, Dad, our bus driver's going to come take your class. And I was like, what do you mean? And he goes, yeah, we were talking to her about your shooting classes. She's going to come take it. And I was like, you're not supposed to be talking about guns at school, buddy. And he's like, oh, we talk about guns all the time on the bus. They own guns. She has this kind of gun. She has 1911. And I was like, okay, wow, all right.
And then didn't you send them a book?
Yeah, we gave both the bus drivers a book because, I mean, like, let's get on the good side of these people.
So our kids are giving them free concealed carry law books.
Yeah,
who knows?
All right, so here's another fun video. Let's see.
A 14-year-old defended his mother and shot a robber inside this Philadelphia pizza shop. NBC 10's Deanna Durante has new information tonight about what happened. She has the story from Spring Garden.
Behind the counter of Bold Pizza, a woman and her son. You can see the efforts to hand over the cash. The boy moves to the right, and sources say he grabs a gun from under the counter and struggles with the gun's holster. He gets the weapon free and fires.
Having a hard time with the holster. Okay, so pretty wild. 14-year-old grabs that gun like he needs to take the 21-day dry fire challenge because he's having a hard time, man.
14
and he did it like a rock star.
Carrying a gun.
No. The gun was under the counter.
Oh, it looked like he was pulling it out of his.
Yeah, no, he like grabbed it from under the counter real quick.
Okay.
So I'm sure he's grown up in that store. He's known that gun has been there forever.
Yep.
But pretty interesting. So he shot the bad guy.
So did he shoot him in the face?
I don't know.
Tom is saying he shot him in the face.
Good. I hope he deserves it.
3-second draw. Well, it looks like a draw, but apparently Ryan is saying he grabbed it from. Okay.
Yeah,
he's pulling it out of the holster.
Out of the holster, yeah.
So he grabbed it. It was holstered. Perfect.
It was in like a nylon holster is what it looked
okay,
like, and he was really struggling getting it out.
Oh, wow. 14 years old.
What do you think? What do you think about a 14-year-old using a gun like that?
Did the person die?
Who cares?
Well, I don't know. What do I think about it? That would be did the other guy have a firearm though?
No, I don't know. I don't think so.
So it's not an armed robbery. It's just a robbery.
Yeah, we're not talking about whether it's legal or not, because frankly, we don't have enough details to really know the legality of what was really happening.
What do I think about a
14-year-old using a gun? I assume that's his mom behind the register getting her butt kicked. 14-year-old using a gun to protect the mom. I'm going to give you my answer because she's like dancing around. I think it's awesome. I think that 14-year-old did a great job. That was a lot of stress, a lot of pressure. I don't know if it's legal or not yet. I guess that's all going to come out over the next couple weeks.
I hate to see kids have to do stuff like that.
Listen, man, I hate to see it too.
Because you don't want it. Like, you got to think about the aftermath, right? So if you did shoot the guy in the head, okay, this guy is now laying there bleeding, gurgling, and you got a 14-year-old kid, you know, that's like nightmares and trauma. Instead of just like take the money and go. I get it. I know. But I'm just saying if nobody was armed and stuff, I don't know if that
14-year-old doesn't really process it like that.
No?
Just like most adults wouldn't.
Oh.
That kid is like trying to protect his mom, right? Mom's getting beat up. So what's that said? It's an old video.
Prosecutor
justified.
said it was justified. Okay.
I think it's justified, 110%.
Yeah, I would imagine it was justified. I just feel bad for a kid having to deal with that, right? Because kids are...
Yeah, but you also have to remember... Like, we live in a soft generation.
Yeah, I guess.
Because
14 years old,
14 years old, like, you're going to combat in Afghanistan.
And when like, the Vietnam War and stuff was going on, there were kids that were that age that were like, yeah, send me. Like,
do you remember a guy came to MacDill Air Force Base and gave a speech? He lived in London, and he lied, joined the military at the age of 15. He was in the D-Day invasion at 15 years old because he said he was upset that they were bombing his country and that he wanted to do something to stop them. Mm-hmm. Like, that's kind of what's going wrong. Today, a 15-year-old is more concerned with how many followers do I have. Like, yeah, I mean.
Yeah, so Ting Ting says, I would consider it legal. We need to go back to the Wild Wild West laws.
Yeah, I don't know about that, Ting Ting.
I think, though, that...
I think that, like what Joe Rogan says, that, you know, soft men create hard times. Hard times create hard men. Mm-hmm. Hard men create easy times. Mm-hmm. Easy times create soft men. No matter what, in American culture, we've had it very easy over the last 100 years or so. We've had some ups and downs, but ultimately we've had things pretty smooth sailing in America,
especially
right?
compared to other countries.
Compared to other countries.
Kids are having, you know, watching their...
So like today, I filmed this video. The kids, Paisley and Jax, are like, oh, we're going to go watch a movie, so we're going to get some snacks. I was like, okay. So I walk in the kitchen. Paisley's got like your cheese platter cut up. She's like slicing cheese.
It's my charcuterie board.
Charcuterie, okay. She said that to me. So, and I was like, what are you making? She's like, got these different dips and stuff and all these fruits all laid out. I said, like this, you guys have too comfortable of a life, is what I said to them. You have to, she's like, I'm making a charcuterie board. And I was like,
Say
what?
It. Charcuterie.
Charcuterie. Okay, whatever. I said, what does that even mean, Paisley? Like, I said, I need you, this is not good. You guys need a harder life if this is what you think is acceptable.
Oh,
we got Joe Yeager over here. Joe, like, very nicely texted me the other day, and he goes, go open your front door. I left you something. And I was like, okay. So I ran out there, and what is it?
So good. It was from
Mariano's or something?
Morano's Bakery. And it was like the most delicious
pastries and stuff.
Yeah, I don't even know what the pastries are called. They're just really good. I know like one of them in Canada we call it Lon John. But anyway, it had all these like amazing flaky layers of
So
goodness.
my kids come home from school and they have a plate of these like super fancy things or whatever.
Cannolis, and yeah, it was so fantastic.
Yeah.
So good though, right?
It was so good. It was good. It was good. I'm not hating.
So like that is the kind of doorbell ring you want to get.
Hell
okay?
yes.
You want to get that, hey, there's a box of bakery items on your doorstep. Man, and you know what? I was having a rough day that day. I feel like I have rough days a lot, but I was having a rough day that day. And I was like, oh my goodness. And I just grabbed that fork and I was like, hell to the yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I just ate it.
Awesome. Okay, next question. Says, what is better to carry, a 380 or a 9mm? You know, John, it's a great question. This debate has happened a lot. You know, like 83% of concealed carry permit holders carry a 9mm. Most men and women carry a 9mm. Men, if they're not going to carry a 9mm, are going to carry a 45 statistically. And then women are going to carry statistically a 380. So men go larger and then women go smaller. If we look at, you know, what's interesting about the Curtis Reeves trial is that he was carrying a Kel-Tec P3AT, which is a 380. Yeah. And he killed that guy pretty quick, man. So
one shot in the chest that actually hit him right in the heart.
Yeah. So it's definitely an effective round. I think it's really about what is going to be comfortable. It's more important for you to carry a gun every single day,
100%
everywhere
of the
you
time,
go, and to have a high level of training with that firearm than it is to have a large gun, a small gun, whatever.
Yeah. Okay. So somebody just asked, and I'll just add to that. We had a few people that came into the gun store. This is before the Easy Shield came out, and they had arthritis and they couldn't, you know, manipulate the slide. And 38 was just too powerful, too much recoil for them. So they would carry a 22. And I even say, if you have a 22 firearm, a little Ruger SR22 or a Walther PK 380, if you have one of those on you, if you're carrying it 100% of the time, if you're not scared of it, if you practice with it because you're able to manipulate the slide and it doesn't scare you, then carry a 22. The most important thing is for you to be proficient with that firearm, for you to train with that firearm, and for you to be comfortable with it.
Okay, so yeah, I totally agree with that, Tef.
Yeah.
Somebody has a question. Adam says, what are your thoughts on the new 30 Super Carry? So Tiff doesn't know about this. It's a new caliber that Federal came out with.
A new caliber?
New caliber. So basically what they're saying is it's like the size of a 380. It's smaller. So like they're trying to get this increased
like
capacity.
A 32?
Hold on. It's a smaller round than a 9mm, but allegedly has the same like terminal ballistics as a 9mm. So the idea is if you have a Glock 19 in 9mm, you have 15 rounds, But if you have it in 30 super carry, you have like 17 or 18 rounds. Okay. So for me, here's my real thought. You know, over the decade or so that we've been in the gun business.
What you're gonna say?
What?
Nothing. Go.
We've seen lots of new calibers come out, and I think it's always exciting. It's cool for people to be innovative, but the reality is they don't catch on. It is always a major problem of finding the ammunition. You know, think about like 5.7, right? Yeah. 5.7 is a badass round. Try walking into a gun store and saying, I want 1,000 rounds of 5.7. Yeah. At best, most gun stores, you're going to find like 1 or 2 boxes. It's very hard. Mm-hmm. Same thing happens with like 6.8 SPC. Very hard to get. 6.5 Creedmoor. 6.5 Grendel. Grendel was like for trying to find, you know, diamonds in a river. It was like, that's a terrible example because diamonds are very plentiful. Diamonds are very plentiful. But, you know, it's just very hard to find and get. Yeah. And then when there are ammunition shortages, like during 2020 with COVID, then you're definitely not getting it. Yeah. I personally really try to stick to like NATO stuff for my primary guns. Yeah. 9mm, 7.62x51, 12 gauge, like those
5.56
and 5.56, right? So those are the big 4 that I really stick to. I own a bunch of 300 blackout guns. I don't shoot them.
Yeah.
It's too expensive.
And another thing that we always kind of keep in the back of our mind is like if something were to happen like
WROL, without rule of law situation.
So, or if there was, you know, war on American soil and things changed and you're ever having to look for parts or look for ammo, right? You want to have basically what's going to be available. Like you can bust down someone's door and scavenge and you can find 9mm and 5.56, like no matter what. But the other calibers and the weird calibers and the different calibers, those are going to be harder to find. So we always think about that too, like as a play kind of like what would happen if, you know, something like that were to go or would happen.
And I like to just have all my stuff be the same. And that's also why I prefer, even though I have a couple different brands of suppressors, I really try to just buy the same suppressor, put it on lots of different guns. Like, I just want everything to be interchangeable, right?
And ammunition manufacturers, when the Sandy Hook shooting happened this last year with COVID, you know what they do is they manufacture one caliber at a time. So they shut the whole plant down and they only manufacture, you know, 380
for like a month.
Then they shut the whole plant down and they only manufacture 40. So when shortages happen, they actually stop manufacturing those other ones, okay? And they focus on 9mm. Right. So then they're just pumping out 9mm, 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 and they're not worried about the 380 and the 40 cal because they have to make sure that they're...
Which is why those other oddball calibers are always so difficult to get in those kind of downtimes.
And the price just skyrockets. So that's just something to think about. Now, you know, would I get one or, you know, to have one for fun? Yes, but the main firearms would be 9mm, 5.56.
Yeah, I like it.
Okay.
Last story. You ready for the Florida woman?
Okay.
Florida woman. Buck would fall in love with this lady. Oh, Jesus. So she faces several criminal charges, including possession of a firearm on school property, after police say she brought a firearm to a parent-teacher conference. So what this lady did.
Oh, my gosh.
Can you imagine this? She went to the parent-teacher conference.
Ryan's like, how did they know she had a gun?
Okay, yeah, that's what I'm thinking, right? How do you even know you have a gun at a parent-teacher conference? And then I start reading the article. Her son, like, got beat up or picked on by some other kid. So she comes to the parent-teacher conference, and this is what the lady says. Ain't nobody gonna be messing with my jit. And said, if they do it, I'm gonna shoot them. And the lady, so you're threatening to shoot like a 10-year-old? Is that for real? Yep. And then she opens up her purse, exposes the butt of the gun in her purse, and tries to act tough. So school resource officer comes, she gets arrested, charged with a variety of different crimes.
She did not watch your video on brandishing.
Yeah, I'm guessing she
Nor
didn't.
did she watch your video on the 15 prohibited places you cannot carry.
But you're dealing with a moron at that point, right?
Oh my gosh, who would do that? That's crazy.
It's crazy. It's
Yeah.
pretty crazy.
Really silly.
But you know what's scary about people like that is those are the kind of people that if you cut them off in traffic, they'll shoot you.
Yeah.
That's the kind of person that if you like disrespect them, that's always their big thing, right? You disrespected me. They'll pull out a gun and they'll just shoot you.
But having a gun on school property, like that's kind of like, that's like level 1 of knowledge if you're going to have a concealed carry permit. You know what I mean? Like there's some laws that you may not kind of understand, like the alcohol in the restaurant. Like there's some things that, you know, not everybody knows about, but that's like right up there with like
pretty basic.
Pretty freaking basic. Like,
but see, what you have to understand is like our followers, our people on here, you guys are not at that average entry level of education, right? That lady is the basic knowledge of most people, which is like way down here. People that have been reading our resources, our training and stuff, you guys are like way up here, right? Like I can't even move my hands high enough.
Good for you, because you guys really are. And you know, I think we probably, you guys probably don't even think that, but that's really good that you guys listen, watch, because you do get to learn a lot, and it kind of it builds and builds and builds, and then over time you kind of know all the laws. I don't know. This is crazy.
Yeah.
That she would even like consider this to be
over a kid. You're gonna shoot a 10-year-old?
Yeah.
Now, we had something happen at Paisley School the other day. Interesting. She gets into the truck. I pick her up from school usually most days, and she gets in the truck and she's like crying. And I was like, "What's going on, Paisley?" And she said, 2 of the boys are talking about raping me. And I was like, "Oh shit, Ryan, you better control this, man." So I'm like, "So what do you mean?" So she's like telling me the story and all that stuff. And finally I said, "Get out of the truck. We got to walk in." And in my head, I'm like, this is about to get real ghetto up in this Christian school, man. Because this is like a line that's getting crossed that's very dangerous.
Yeah.
Turns out it was not accurate. It was not true.
Yeah, it was kind of made up by
another girl trying to cause problems. Yeah. But yeah, I was having that like dad moment where like, man, if I see one of these kids, I might punch one of them.
Yeah.
I might.
Yeah. Well, I mean, punch a kid, but you wouldn't be like, dude, and show him your gun. I mean, that's just craziness.
Yeah, it was crazy.
So anyway, we are that time. So what we are going to say, guys, is we may see you again and we may not.
I'm coming back. I'm coming back. So.
Kate, so like, let me ask you a quick question though. Like when we're in Mexico, are we allowed to like take a steak knife from the restaurant and be like?
I did that in Jamaica.
I know.
It wasn't legal. I did it. Don't brag about this on like live TV.
No, you're saying
millions of people watching right now all around the globe.
I think there's 179 people. But no, I'm wondering, like, are you allowed to do that?
If you can't have a folding pocket knife, you can't have a freaking
to cut my food because I get sore teeth.
I'm guessing we will not survive in Mexico. We are not going to survive in American prison. I'm definitely not going to do well in a Mexican prison.
This is true.
Then I can't even backtalk them because I don't even speak your language.
There might be one of those holes in the wall, though, you were talking about.
I'm sure that will be my job in a Mexican jail.
Okay. Joe says you guys are overthinking this. Everything's gonna be okay. Yeah, I totally agree. Everything's gonna be great. I'm really not stressed about it.
I'm not concerned either.
The thing that I'm more stressed about, honestly, is like testing positive for COVID and then not being able to get on the airplane and then having to deal with that.
Canik Bill has a question. He says, "What about Bunker Depot and the laser?"
Oh, what?
Bill, they've got a laser and they can engrave stuff.
Yeah.
So really, whatever, all you got to do is, one of the owners, Jason, like he does have a background in graphic design. So I don't know what they're like willing to do or not. Maybe you can give them an idea and they'll design it. Maybe you got to have your own design. I really don't know. I would assume they're probably going to have some like stock images.
Okay, we can't go yet. We can't go yet. You guys got to stay on for 5 more minutes. Because Ron Wilson just said, "You two are awesome. You make marriage seem easy."
All right. So this is about to get interesting. We have a very difficult marriage.
Do we love each other? Yes. Do we fight? Like
a lot.
3 hours ago, I was in bed. Not 3 hours ago. So like 2 hours ago, I was trying to relax, right? Like 30 minutes before I have to put on my face and like do this. And I was like, okay, this is really hard when you're fighting with your husband and you don't even want to like look at him. And now you have to go on a live show and pretend that you like him. Now, thank goodness you came upstairs and you were like, "You feel better?" And I was like, okay, that's what I needed. But We fight just like the rest of y'all. We've wanted to divorce each other just like the rest of y'all. We've thought that there's never, like, I remember times thinking, like, there is no way I will ever love this man again. Like, ever. There's been times where I've gotten on the floor and cried to God to just make him leave. And I know that you've felt the same way about me. You've thought you're completely unhappy.
I just need you to write down all the recipes first. That's the only thing. As soon as you put that on paper.
There's been times where we have just hated each other, though, right? Like,
Yeah.
like where we just stayed together because we couldn't afford to leave.
Now I can afford to leave. We could afford to leave if we needed to. But now we're sucking it up because, you know, what I don't want to happen is I don't want, like...
Well, so we're 16 years now, and we've been
I
together
don't want to get
for
to the
18.
end of our life and be like, we should have just, like, stayed together instead of, you know...
Yeah.
But,
Which
you know,
happened to my mom and dad. They got divorced after 22 years, and they're like, not grass is greener on the other side. That's not true. You know, they're both still And every time they're like, we should have just stayed together. We should have just stayed together. Me, I know that we are meant to be together. I know that God put us together, and I know that we just need to work it out. But both people have to be willing.
Mm-hmm.
And so... do we have a good marriage? Yes, we do, but we're just like everybody else. We have our days, we have our times, we've had our years, and, you know, all I can say to anybody who's contemplating, you know, divorce or something like that is work at it, stick through it, because you come out on the other side. And after the worst, well, of course, if there's the things that are, you know, the big ones, like you're being beaten or something like that, but... just like the average person who you're having those, you know, you argue every day, you're stressed, you're fighting, there's money, there's kids, there's all that stuff going on, you can work through it. And you can come out on the other side. I remember after that, like, 4-year period of us, like, hating each other, that all of a sudden, I was like, oh, I'm glad I didn't leave, because we became best friends again. It happened.
I would have never described
again.
ourselves as best friends, but... Okay, I'm teasing.
You're not funny.
I'm kind of funny. I'm a little bit funny.
Oh my gosh. So that's what I have to tell you guys.
Yeah, it's tough. Ryan, buy another crazy expensive guns. Nope. I actually bought something on the credit card Tiffany noticed today, and that's part of why she was mad at me.
Yes. Because Ryan likes to buy endless amounts of courses and books.
Success or death. Those are my two options. I have told Tiffany 1,000 times, there's only two options for me in this life. I will either die broke as shit or rich. There's nothing in the middle. And I'm giving it all I got. I'm going for it. And I'm playing the game to win, which is something that I think most people don't do. I think most people play not to lose. I'm not concerned about losing because we've already lost before and we made it back.
We've lost a few times.
We've lost lots of times, but I want to win. Want gold teeth,
and I guess
I want 24-inch rims on my truck. And until I get it, I am not satisfied.
Okay. So we're gonna leave on that note, and we will see you next Monday.
We'll just say what time's my last class?
I'm thinking like 8:30ish.
8:30.
Yeah.
Live next week, 8:30.
Yeah. So be prepared, and we'll send out the email. But we love you guys. Have a great night. We'll see you next Monday sometime.